What's going on, guys? So later today I'm going on a canyon run. I thought it'd be fun to install the strut bar off of the 98 convertible onto this car to see if I notice a difference in handling capabilities of the car with the strut bar on versus off. Now, strut bars seem to be a hot topic depending on who you ask. They're eye candy, they don't do anything, or they completely change how the car handles. On my convertible, I did notice a difference when I put it on, but I also put it on at the same time I put springs on, so I can't really single out how the strut bar changed the dynamic of how that car handled. So depending on the bar and depending on who you ask, strut bars completely change. Strut bars don't do anything. Single piece strut bars change. If you have hinges like this one does here, it doesn't do anything. I like them. I think they're fun. I think they look cool, so I'll put it on. When the convertible gets running though, this UCS tuning bar is going back on that car, and I'm probably going to get a single piece bar for this car, like a Mason Engineering race brace. Strut bars are pretty straightforward, pretty simple to install, and they look good. Tools you will need: 3/8 driver, 13mm socket, 3/8 short extension. I have a 14mm box end wrench and a 14mm socket there. That is for the 3-piece strut bar hardware. If you have a 1-piece strut bar, you don't need those because you won't be tightening down the bar to the tower housings. Chance your strut bar might not be 14mm. If it's a different strut bar, the hardware might be different, and I'm using aftermarket hardware on my strut bar. I'll explain that later. And if you like torquing things, we will be using a torque wrench. You don't have to use a torque wrench, but I do recommend using a torque wrench. So let's get started. So I have no complaints with the ECS tuning bar. It actually looks really good. The only problem I did run into though was the factory hardware is garbage. For whatever reason, ECS Tuning decided that the bolts that should hold the strut tower and the strut bar in place, these bolts right here, should be stainless steel. And I'm sure someone said, yeah, that'd be awesome. If you guys don't know about stainless steel nuts and bolts, they are a terrible idea. That reason being galling. Now, galling is basically, if you have two equal grades of metal that tends to gall, for instance stainless steel, with enough force the metal will basically self-weld. So when I put the strut bar on and I tried to take it off again, I couldn't get the nut and bolt off because I tightened it and the stainless steel self-welded itself together and basically became one bolt nut assembly. It's shit. Don't use stainless steel bolts, they're terrible. So if you're gonna get an ECS tuning strut bar, I would highly recommend getting a different nut and bolt combo. I think nut and bolt combo that I have on this strut bar I bought from Lowe's for like $1.50. Not a super big deal, pretty straightforward to fix. So the first step is we're gonna have to take the caps off the strut towers and all three of the strut bolts off. These guys are 13mm. And the 3 on the adjacent side. There we go. So now we're going to lay the strut bar across the two towers. And if you have a 1-piece bar, you don't have to worry about it being loose because it'll be a single piece. This is actually a 3-piece bar. So we're going to have to tighten down these guys after we tighten these guys down. Now we're just going to run these guys down. Put the bolts back on. And the 3 on the adjacent side. Now if you're a torque Nazi like I am, the spec for these shock housing bolts is 16 foot-pounds or 192 inch-pounds. If you're not a torque Nazi, just run them down until they strip, back it off half a turn, you're good to go. Alright, so if you have a single piece bar at this point, you're done. That's it. Since mine's a 3-piece bar, I actually have to tighten down the bolts that secure the bar to the housing. And in my case, they're both 14mm. That being said, I did talk about having custom hardware. I'm not sure what the actual factory bolt sizes are on the ECS tuning kit. And if it's a non-ECS tuning bar, I have no idea what size those bolts are. You're just going to have to go and try different sizes to find which one works. Now, I didn't see a torque spec listed with the ECS tuning bar, so I'm just going to tighten it till it's tight, basically. Tight enough. That's it, the strut bar's on. These things are definitely eye candy. I love how strut bars look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it fresh, and I'll see you guys later.
Maybe you should take it slow.